We're heading out. Beautiful snowy morning mid-March.
Hi everyone, welcome to Adventures with Heckenback. Today we're headed to southern Illinois via the Wabash Cannonball Bridge, and then we'll show you what Cave and Rock looks like when it's flooded.
Oh yeah, you can't get down there now. Oh, we need the drone.
And we'll end the day with me dropping my cell phone off Tower Rock, one of the most beautiful places in the world to lose a cell phone. How beautiful. It really is, especially like this time of year. It's like, oh, snow, more snow. But you know it's not going to last very long.
Makes everything pretty and white instead of the brown.
Dingy brown.
Dingy.
Before the spring green hits.
Yep. Anyone ever heard of Albany's Candy Company? That's it right there. They keep expanding and expanding. Originally it was the little white building there with a little bit of stuff in the back.
Originally it was a little tiny storefront in Hobart.
Yeah.
We made our way out of the snow down around Terre Haute, and then south of Vincennes we hit some back roads to head over to the Wabash Cannonball Bridge. Rivers on the other side of that berm.
Let's hope it doesn't break.
Here's where you turn right. See what they're doing if they're gonna go. Let them go. Look at out there. Water. So what is this here?
Collection from oil wells. See the wells over that way?
Oh, are there wells way over
Our
there?
favorite
Okay.
way to cross from Indiana into Illinois is using the Wabash Cannonball Bridge. The bridge is a little way south of Vincennes and is actually considered to be part of St. Francisville. It was originally a railway bridge, and it's unique for several different reasons. It was constructed over a period of time, or at least the spans were replaced and rebuilt at various times, starting from 1897, and the last one being replaced in 1924. It's also a long, multi-span bridge, single-lane bridge. Eventually, the railway stopped using it, and a farmer, Frank Stengel, bought the bridge in the 1970s and converted it for cars. The way he converted it was to just put planks down over the railroad ties, take the rails up, and then the rails were actually used for railings along the bridge. We had read that the farmer sold the bridge to St. Francisville, but then we've also read that it was sold to the state of Illinois. So we're not quite sure which owns it at this point. I found a few sources that said that this is named the Wabash Cannonball Bridge because the actual Wabash Cannonball train went across this bridge. This is where it crossed the Wabash River. Doing some research, I'm not necessarily sure if that's true. The Wabash Cannonball, so there was a train named the Cannonball that ran on the Wabash line, the Wabash rails. But the original route ran from Chicago to El Paso, Texas. So sources I found said that once that route was canceled or ended, that there was a revival of it, so to speak, that ran from St. Louis to Detroit, and that this is the actual route that it took across the Wabash River on the Wabash rail line. So I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if anybody out there is a train history buff. Maybe you know the answer to that, whether it's true or not.
Or by something else. I don't know. This is a pretty busy bridge, though, for yeah, that truck is like right behind us.
Nice.
Another little piece of history, I suppose, maybe not so surprising for an area like this and a historic railroad like this, is that it is supposedly haunted. And like many ghost stories, one of the components is to turn off all the lights and either flash your lights or honk your horn 3 times at midnight and a ghost will appear. Sounds like a lot of other ghost stories I've heard. One of the other things that makes it unique, though, is that when the farmer bought it, he turned it into a toll bridge. So when we get to the very end, the toll is only on one side, the St. Francisville, Illinois side. So when we get to the end, we're going to have to pay a toll.
Historic St. Francisville. Shawnee. Smiley, you're on camera.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
How much?
$2. $2.50. Yeah, you got to trade it. $2.50. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Got that blind spot.
You got a couple quarters?
Sure
Keep
do.
the change. Or...
There you go.
Thank you.
Good.
See you.
Only Route 1, left turn.
Straight, nope, straight ahead. I mean, yes, we are going to Illinois Route 1.
It said to go that way.
Oh.
After finding our way to Route 1, we headed a couple more hours south towards the Ohio River, through a few small towns until we made it to Cave in Rock, Illinois.
Cave in Rock, population 350. So you'll turn left in about a half a mile on Main Street.
What street?
Main. Next one.
Turn which way?
Left. Turn left by the bicycles. Police department, village hall. Couple cars waiting to go there. Then you'll follow the signs.
We were planning to spend the night at Cave in Rock Campground, which is part of Cave in Rock State Park. It was supposed to be really cold and windy tonight, so we wanted to stay in a campground that had electric so we could plug in our electric heater. This was actually our backup plan, Cave in Rock, We originally had planned to camp at one of the Shawnee National Forest Service campgrounds. But then when we heard it was supposed to be so cold, we decided to stay in a campground with electric. As it turns out, that was a good choice.
30?
Sure.
Once we got camp set up, we headed out to explore. Cave and Rock State Park is about halfway between St. Louis and Louisville in southern Illinois. It's about an hour north of Land Between the Lakes. It's a small state park, but it does have camping, cabins for rent, a restaurant, and several picnic shelters that can be rented.
Cabins back here. The cave is this way.
Ohio River. Tell it's kind of high. That point over there, the trees underwater.
Well, you can see the water in the field across the way.
This area had received a lot of rain the last couple months, and several of the rivers in the area were in a flood state. But it had never occurred to us that that could be a problem with us seeing the cave. They're fairly uneven stairs. Oh, yeah, you can't get down there now. Oh, we need the drone. So usually there is a sidewalk that goes around the front of the rock face here and takes you to the cave, which is a little way down the wall. You can see in this picture here what it looks like from the front when the river's low. So right now the river is all the way up over that base and partway up the rock walls. So we headed back up the stairs to get the drone to see if we could get a couple shots of what it looked like with the river so high. We had been here several years ago, probably 5-6 years ago, and you can walk all the way back in the cave. It opens up into a big room with a high ceiling, and there's some interesting things to see back in there. The cave has an interesting history. It has served as a hideout for a couple of different gangs throughout history. One of them was Samuel Mason, who opened a tavern inside the cave. And then there was another one, the Hart brothers, who were fleeing execution in Kentucky. They hid out there with their gang for a while. And it even served as a backdrop in the movie How the West Was Won, in one of the scenes in that movie. We spent a little bit of time watching the car ferry cross the Ohio. Tomorrow morning, we would head south on this ferry. The Cave and Rock Ferry is free, it's community funded, and it's one of the few ferry lines still running across the Ohio. Then we headed west a little ways into Shawnee National Forest to check out Tower Rock.
Turn right and then left on Clay.
Tower Rock is only about 15 minutes down the road, and there is a National Forest campground here at Tower Rock as well.
Okay, that's private property. Oh.
This is where we had originally planned to camp. It turned out to be a good thing we just made the decision to stay at Cave and Rock because when we got here, the campground was closed. Although we could have probably dispersed camped at the boat ramp if we really needed to.
Firewood.
Okay, so go to the campground first. It's a loop. And then the actual Tower Rock is down by the boat launch. Oh, attention campers. Closes for the season and it will reopen March 15th. Well, I guess Cave and Rock was a good call, huh? Not to mention we had electric there, so.
The trailhead is here on the left. We drove down to the boat launch parking area and parked there. The hike up took us probably 10 or 15 minutes. It's not an extremely difficult hike, but it is uphill all the way. When you get to the top, there is an official viewpoint that is cordoned off. This is the view from that viewpoint. There is what I'm sure is an unofficial path that leads over to these rock outcroppings over here, and that's where we were able to capture these views.
Definitely a much better view. Just be careful. Can see the ferry down there. I don't know if I can see you in there. What are you doing, babe?
Just texting pictures.
Yeah?
Yep, just texting pictures.
Uh-huh. Texting pictures to who?
Your sister and Brian.
What kind of pictures?
Just of the view here and that nice little slot right there that phones slide through.
Where?
Down there in that little shaded area right there.
Oh, right there?
Yeah.
Yeah? Uh-huh.
Real nice.
Yeah.
About, was it 30, probably 30, 40 feet down to the water's edge?
Yeah. I'm afraid to even walk over there. I'm not going any closer.
Yeah,
because I'm scared of heights.
There's nothing to grab onto there.
Let's see if I can drop the GoPro down there now.
I wouldn't do that.
It's like a chute made especially for cell phones.
Yep. Exactly.
Whose cell phone are you typing on?
Mine. in my hand, then going right in my pocket.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yep. No, you can't have it. Not until we get away from the river.
Oh my goodness. Again, it's always me.
Yep. But usually, I just break mine, sweat it up, and ruin it.
True.
I don't drop mine off a cliff.
Well, and that's why we have insurance on yours.
On mine.
I don't know if we have insurance on mine.
Well, this could be a real expensive trip.
Ooh, careful.
Yeah.
That kind of took the wind out of my sails there.
I'm gonna head back to the truck and
I don't know.
take a shore water level picture or sunset.
Of the sunset.
My plan was to stay up here and capture the whole sunset. I was sitting on rocks way away from the edge, but when I dropped my phone, it hit that loose gravel and it just shot right off the edge of the cliff. I'm afraid of heights, and seeing my phone fall off the edge of the cliff made me nauseous. Holding the GoPro over the edge made me nauseous. Tim almost tripping there made me very nauseous. So shortly after that, we went ahead and made the decision to go ahead and hike back down before it got too dark.
Yeah, I just told your sister and Brian and the kids that,
Mom don't have a phone no more.
yeah.
Because she let it slide off a cliff.
I swear, when it was going down those rocks, there was a dust trail behind it. It was going so fast. At least I think it was dust. Could have been smoke. Remember, don't try walking and looking through the camera now.
Okay.
The Scoutmaster always said, don't step on anything you can step over, and don't step over anything you can walk around.
You know I was going to go over it. I think that may actually be safer for me.
So you get a sliver somewhere.
We didn't record the hike on the way up, but we did record it on the way down. And when we got to the bottom, I could not let the idea of my phone go. We ended up bushwhacking through some horrible down trees, sticker bushes, crumbling rocks at the base of the cliff for about an hour looking for my phone. And now that I see the drone footage, I realize it's probably on a ledge somewhere.
Oh yeah, that temperature is dropping.
Yeah, it was nice and warm up there with the sun shining.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get you some boots.
Ankle boots.
Supports. Yeah, this ain't as bad as walking down those stairs.
Over at Cave and Rock.
Yeah.
It was absolutely ridiculous for us to go bushwhacking through all of this overgrowth below the crumbling cliffs and everything. I didn't even think to record. I was kind of embarrassed at having dropped my phone like that. But there were some creepy things back in there. We saw lots of animal bones in various stages of decomposition, probably from other animals, because there's no way that other people are like hiking back in here or anything. We wish we would have thought to record some of it. By the time we made it back out, we were both so tired. We were just exhausted. We headed back to the Campanile, made ourselves a couple sandwiches, and went to bed. In the morning, though, we would get up bright and early to take the ferry across the river into Kentucky, where we would search out the nearest Verizon store. We hope you enjoyed coming along with us on this adventure. If you've watched this far, consider hitting that subscribe button to show us your support. Hit that like button and maybe leave a comment to let me know I'm not alone. And we hope you'll join us in the next one as we head down into Kentucky.